Item M.
Item M is discussion direction of possible special meeting on August 30th, 2011 to consider city management recruitment.
Mayor, I may have a conflict of interest, so I'm going to recuse myself from this discussion.
On the item M?
Yes.
Okay. Council, discussion?
Mayor, may I mention? Mayor?
Yes.
May I mention that I think I have mentioned to nearly all the council members that we anticipate having a special meeting or recommending that the council have a special meeting on a different subject or at least one different subject on the 30th of August, and that is for grant acceptance on the runway safety project. So our recommendation to the council is that there be a special meeting for that grant acceptance consideration. So if there is another item on the agenda at that time, that's of course the council's prerogative. But as it looks, our recommendation is that we have a special meeting on the 30th for that time-sensitive FAA grant acceptance.
I have a question, Mayor.
Steve?
It would seem appropriate that we would put down a placeholder for that meeting for discussion on city manager rather than not put it on there. If we don't do anything at that point in time, we don't have to go forward with it, do we?
No, we could add that.
I mean, I guess I'm saying that if we're going to already have a meeting, let's go ahead and put it on there. If for some reason we don't discuss it, it always could be removed.
Well, we need to move forward with a meeting of something, because at 5 o'clock today will be the time that any applications or resumes or
Oh, I see what you're saying.
applications
Okay.
will be due to the HR department here. So I think my suggestion would be that we instruct the HR to prepare whatever information that has been brought forward to her by 5 o'clock today to us in the next day or two, so that we can review that information. And at least at that point, there'll be something to talk about at the future meeting. At this moment, until we have additional information from HR,
Okay.
there's really nothing to discuss. Questions, Jim?
I agree.
I agree with that, but I'd also have a question. If we do get this, the applications in, and we're able to review them in the next few days, is there any reason, if we feel as a council that we can pick a city manager from the applications that are given, could we vote on it at that time and appoint a permanent city manager?
Council?
Yeah, you could take action. You could consider it. It depends on how you want to set the meeting up. If you wanted to, direct staff, it just takes either the mayor or two council members to agendize, the, consideration, however you want to do it, and then, taking final action. So you can do it both the same day. We've used different processes in the past. You could do an executive session, set up a regular special meeting, go into executive session for purposes of interviewing, applicants, however you want to do that, and then at the end of the day, direction or action regarding appointment.
Okay.
So it can be done at the same time.
I would like some choices on that, whether it be A, B, and C, or whether you're going to pull from in-house, whether you're going to go out and look, but at least have that on the agenda that we can discuss it, instead of just having a flat vote, we found somebody in-house and that's what we want to do.
No, I thought that's what we were talking about. We're going to have the A, B, and C, but I just wanted to know if we were going to be able to take action, if there was an appropriate action to be taken at the time, or unless we need to specify that on the agenda item itself.
Yeah, you're talking about several different agendized items. I think one is, I think, Councilmember Suttles, I think you're talking about, some discussion A on process and moving forward, and then, Councilmember Hanna, I think you're talking about, let's say we have a number of applicants. How do we do that process? If we decide that's the process we want to do, And step 1, can we move forward with that process? So it's just a matter of how the agenda is set up. It has to be noticed properly. If you have applicants that you're going to consider appointing, they have to have 24 hours notice. So and their names would have to be on the, e-session, for consideration if there's more than one, so that they're identifiable or they're properly agendized. So we'd have to give them 24 hours notice if they're going to be considered for appointment.
Okay, and does there have to be an e-session? Why would there have to be an e-session?
Again, there wouldn't have to necessarily, if your action item is consideration of appointment, among the applications or among the three people or 5 people or 10 people, however many you have, consider selection among the following candidates for appointment. You can do it. It's just a matter of setting up the agenda how council wants to direct to do it. Okay. So you're asking us to try to set it up in an action form of item if you
Yes, I am. That's
if
what
you
I'm
go
asking
through
you
that.
to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you put an e-session on that, we can certainly vote whether we want to attend that session or not.
Sure. Yeah, and recently we had an e-session where council didn't believe it was appropriate to go into there. And, any e-session really, for whatever reason, if there's not enough time, we've had some where, it's been a long meeting, we've decided to defer the e-session till later. It's council's prerogative whether you want to vote into the e-session or not, if it's agendized. But if it's not agendized, you can't go into e-session, obviously.
Well, to go into an e-session, it takes a motion and it takes a vote. So that's wide
Sure.
open. So am I to understand that our direction today will be to instruct HR to provide us with copies of whatever applications have come in by the appointed time today, which is 5 o'clock, and if we could have those in a day or two, and give us time then to make the next decision on a Monday, a week, or a Tuesday, a week from now.
That's what I'd like to see.
That we're
I think what we're trying to decide here is how is this agenda item going to be listed for the 30th special meeting? So
well,
my thoughts right now is we're going to have a 30th meeting.
today we can set the meeting, but anytime up to 24 hours before that meeting, the agenda can be determined of what the procedure will be for that meeting. Is that correct, Liz? Okay. So today, really, all we're doing is setting a meeting.
And we know we're going to have the airport, and we know we're going to have the city manager.
That's correct.
Potentially.
And possibly there could be something else in the meantime that needed action. So.
A question, we have our HR person here, Mary. At the time this evening when that closes, you'll end up having those applicants and that information. So that goes public, and then the council itself receives that.
Yes, at 5 o'clock, well, tomorrow morning, we'll pick up all the apps. We might have some in our mailbox now. We've got a lockbox here in the lobby. We'll pick those up, get with the mayor or a representative group from council, and see how you want to proceed. Do you all want copies of every application?
Are we going to do a subcommittee or everybody being
I have a
involved?
question, Mary. Are you screening them? You've had guidelines for what you're requiring. You have certain guidelines on education experience
Yes.
and et cetera. So you're screening them that they meet the guidelines that were written up and putting those into a qualified column, and then those that were not qualified into a non-qualified column?
Yes, the minimum requirements were a bachelor's degree, preferred master's, 10 years progressive management experience, preferably in government. Those were the minimum requirements. So if that's the direction you want me to go, we will screen them and only give you the applications from those that meet those minimal qualifications. Is that the direction I'm getting?
Yes. My
That's
opinion,
sensible.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. Marianne, yes or no?
I'm fine with council's decision on that, as long as we open that up to get the same information on who's applying.
Right.
I think a comment was made by Councilman Blair a couple of weeks ago that maybe you're not looking at certain qualifications being part of the city management, but I think that we have agreed that they should be there. We're looking for a qualified person to fill that spot with those. So I'm fine with that.
Okay, so we need a motion to schedule the meeting.
Mayor, I move to schedule a special meeting at the 30th
What time is it?
of August
3 p.m.?
at 3 p.m.
Okay.
for action regarding the city manager's position.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. Let's vote, please. Okay.
Motion passes unanimously.